Hi guys, SelfCastDad back with some more Necronomicon, and we're going to just jump right in. And last time we left off, we were supposed to go back and meet that guy the next day, so let's try and jump up here again. Wow, and it just lets me walk right in.
William, it's been so long.
I'm here to see how you are. When you came to my house 2 days ago,
I'm sorry, my memory fails me frequently.
when you came to my house, you seemed very disturbed, as if you were in some danger.
Forget anything I said to you. I was upset. Let's forget it.
Dr. Eagleton is worried about your health. So is your father. Edgar, are you sure everything's fine?
I'm relying on you to reassure them. Everything's fine now. Allow me to introduce you to my colleague, Dr. Owens.
Hi, Dr. Owens.
Don't forget what we must do, Mr. Witcherly. Agile quad agius. I shall await you in the bungalow.
I'll leave you to your work, Edgar.
William, goodbye. Please be so kind as to give my regards to Mr. Eagleton and inform him that you yourself have observed that everything here is fine.
Sure. I don't think everything is fine, buddy. So I'm just gonna kinda snoop around a little bit. See if there's anything else I can do here. And it doesn't look like it. Can't go upstairs, can't go through there. So we'll just get out of your hair. Okay. Is this the same location? No, this is my house. Okay. So okay.
Hello, Dr. Eagleton? I've seen Edgar recently. He really does seem very disturbed.
Please stay at home. If you don't mind, I'm going to come and see you. We'll be able to speak about it more easily.
Hello, Doctor.
Hello.
You wish to have my opinion. I'm sorry to tell you that I found my friend far from his old self. At first, he didn't recognize me. He introduced me to Dr. Owens, who was even stranger than Edgar. As I was leaving, he seemed to be crying out for help. Then he proceeded to address me formally using a highly outmoded style of language. I am truly mystified.
It's because your
Could
friend
you enlighten me as
isn't
to
your
the
friend
exact
anymore.
nature of his research?
The first thing Edgar discovered amongst the papers of several Providence families was mail addressed to Gregor Herschel or written by him. These letters had been intercepted by the local population with the hope of finding out what he was up to. Then he found Herschel's work documents. Edgar revealed to me one day that the papers of his ancestor contained some incredible scientific secrets, for the most part written in a coded language, and that he was trying to acquire the ancient arts needed to understand what it was all about. He then explained to me that he was scouring the cemeteries for the gravestone of Gregor Herschel, which should bear an inscription made up of mystical symbols that he needed to decipher the manuscript.
The odd thing was that I had the impression that he didn't speak freely.
I fear that he's under the influence of this Dr. Owens. There's only one way to guarantee his safety, to have him committed.
Probably under more of the
Thank you for
influence
your
than that.
valuable help, William. Continue your investigations, my boy. We need to know what lies behind all this.
Probably under the influence of the noxious vapor of the stars. Can we go talk to Daddy? Let's go talk to Daddy.
Good day, Mr. Witcherly. If I may be so bold, I would like very much to look at Edgar's research papers.
But of course, come on in.
Thank you.
Yesterday, Dr. Eagleton spoke to me of the psychological problems Edgar is suffering from, and which, in his opinion, are partly connected to his studies. On returning from his travels, Edgar generally shut himself up in his room to work. He used to lock himself in and under no circumstances could be disturbed. He was deciphering photographic copies of an ancient manuscript. Then he began to get interested in chemistry and to hang around cemeteries. The acrid odors that sometimes came from his room were becoming truly intolerable. Edgar seemed to have gone out of his mind, letting out shrieks and having conversations when there was nobody there. On the 15th of April, I remember the date because it was Good Friday. Mrs. Whitecherry was listening anxiously in the corridor to strange chants in foreign tongues and a series of syllables ending in ya, whereupon she fainted. That evening, we had a lengthy conversation in the office, during which I warned him that, whatever the purpose of his research, I could no longer tolerate such conduct. It was on that day that he resolved to move to Pawtuxet. His room is upstairs, William. We have left it just as it was on the day he left.
Sounds like somebody's been reading the Necronomicon. I know, because it's the name of the game. Alright, so let's snoop around. What's this? Monday. Okay. Just more of the same. What's this? Anything? Okay. What did we pick up? Key. Okay. Is that everything? Not sure. I guess we'll find out though, huh? Maybe. It's tomorrow now.
Well then, young man, this should satisfy your curiosity. I found my ancestors' logbook, and I've had a quick look through it. It makes disturbing reading.
Of course
But
it
who
does.
shall clip the wings of this bird of ill omen? It talks of the underworld, monstrous creatures, striking bargains with devils. There are also letters of support sent to him by the local people, all of which are enclosed in an envelope addressed to the governor of Newport Colony. But you know it was never sent. Here it is. By Christ, lad, I had a very reckless ancestor. I'd heard tell of the fire at Pawtuxet Road Farm, but I'd heard nothing of these terrible circumstances. That place must be cursed for eternity. There's a bungalow now where the farm once stood. The current owner is a strange kind of fellow called Edgar Wycherley.
I'm starting to think. You guys, you wanna chat? No. Races come to Providence. The arrival of Black Steed horse race is this year expected on Sunday, 30th of April. After racing 15K through the glass snake back roads, the competitors shall pass by the eastern fork and go along the canal before arriving outside the governor's house. They shall take luncheon in the park. Ship owner Gregor Herschel has pledged the sum of $5 to the winner. We may recall how Mr. G. Herschel has become well known for his charitable activities, and that when the governor's house was destroyed by fire in 1761, he made a generous contribution towards the cost of its reconstruction. Okay. Is that all? Okay. Well, where do we go now? Let's go back. Make sure we didn't miss anything in here. Okay, well, you know, just wanted to make sure. And so now what do we do? Got a key. Okay, he won't talk to me. He's gone.
Crumb and Son, at your service.
At your service. Got anything to say, buddy? No? else can we snoop? What do we find? Hey, look at this. Person's journal. Anonymous letter. Appeal for the fires. Here we go. Brother, and I was in Wizardtron. Aha! I received your letter today telling of what you have caused in words from the salts that I sent to you. This morning result clearly proves that the still had been changed when Barabbas obtained the specimen for me. This often happens, as you must know, after the body that you took from King Chapel Cemetery in 1769 and afterward it removed from the old resting ground in 1690. What they're talking about is can't remember what it's called, the sacred salts, something like that, that are obtained from boiling down mummies. So that makes sense now. Which nearly cost him his life. The exact same thing happened to me in Egypt 75 years ago, which is how I got the scar that the young man saw on my face in 1924. That's 75 years ago. That's interesting. As I said to you a long time back, do not invoke any spirit that you cannot dominate, whether it be from dead salts or from the spheres beyond. Always have the expulsion words ready, and do not stop to make sure when you doubt the identity of who you have. All the steel have been changed in 9 of 10 cemeteries. You're never sure of anything until you've asked. I received news from H today, who has had problems with the militia. He regrets that Transylvania has passed from Hungarian to Romanian control. Change his place right in the Civis Castle was not so full of you know what. I do not know what. My next communication, there shall be something from the Eastern Tomb that shall bring you great pleasure. Meanwhile, do not forget that I want to have B something. If you can procure him for me, you know G of Philadelphia better than me. Use him before me if you wish, but not too severely, because I need to speak to him afterwards. Yog Sothoth Neblod Zin. Those are magic words. Mr. G.H. Providence, Simon O. That would be Gerald Herschel, correct? The thing with the initials, that is something that they used to do in witchcraft to protect identities. So, it's an interesting little tidbit of information. I shall conform to your request to only send accounts via your vessels, but if I'm not always sure of the state of their arrival, one of the matters of which you spoke to me, I require only one more thing, but I want to be sure that I have understood you correctly. You say that no part should be missing if one wishes to obtain the best effects, but you do not know how difficult it is to be sure. It seems to me to be a great risk and a heavy burden to take the entire box and in town, namely in the churches of St. Peter, St. Paul, or St. something, Mary. It's absolutely impossible. However, I know what imperfections there were in that which was brought back to life last October, and how many living specimens you had to use before discovering the right method in 1766. That is why I allow myself to be guided by you in all matters. I await the arrival of your rig with impatience, and I visit my victual, and then the hope of news. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's death. Those look like tarot, actually. Alright, so we have some stuff. Now, the question is, what to do?
What gives you the right to enter my house like this, stranger?
Edgar, don't you recognize me?
Of course.
Oh,
Sorry about that. It's the old memory playing up again. Could you just remind me, though, why I asked you to come and visit?
Be careful, Edgar. You're poking your nose into terrifying things that are tightening their grip on you.
Stuff and nonsense. The world of science is bedeviled by malicious rumors engendered by fear.
Edgar, what is the subject of your research?
I'm working on the discovery of knowledge that must, for the moment, be kept secret. Its revelation shall herald the dawning of a new era.
Are you sure that is for the best? Certain things should be consigned to the past so that the passage of time can erase them.
Some things are never erased. And this is no longer simply a marvel consigned to the past.
Well, I must return to Providence. Allow me to excuse myself.
By all means, give my regards to Dr. Eagleton. Don't lose any sleep on my account. Everything here is fine.
Somebody's messing around with the sacred salts and gotten themselves possessed by Gerald Herschel, no less. Because that's what happens when you start messing around with somebody else's research. Hey, why are you in my house? Only I have the right to break in and snoop around people's stuff.
Hello there, young William. Any news?
Yes. I went back to Edgar's house and was able to let myself in before he arrived. This is what I was able to glean from the letters I found. Edgar has been carrying out the same research as his ancestor. He must have attempted and succeeded in an experiment that at first taught him some secrets before causing him to lose his mind.
You're right. It's increasingly apparent that he is mad. And this Dr. Owens appears to exert the most harmful of influences. Edgar must be protected. I would like to use your telephone to issue the sheriff with an internment order, and to ask him to meet us at Edgar's house in order to nip any possible resistance in the bud.
Let's go.
Edgar, I'm forced to do this for your own safety.
By all the spirits at my command, I damn you. May Azeroth take you over. You shall remain enslaved to him forever.
I recommend that you rest before carrying out a detailed search of the
He
premises.
looks crazy.
Each clue may be vital to us. I'll meet you back at your house.
He looked like he was gonna eat my face. Okay, so, I'm assuming that there's nothing else here. But we're gonna go ahead and check it anyways. Just because you can never be too sure. What's this? Huh. Yes, let's take it. Is that it? Still can't go upstairs. Okay. Hey, whatever. And let's go home. I love my little motorbike. Well, let's see. Pawtuxet. What was this? Where is it? Wait a minute. Key. Let's go to Daddy's. Talk to Daddy. Daddy! Okay, well, let's go snoop the room. Which room was it? Oh, hello again. Quit breaking into my house. Really? Can't even talk to him? It's kind of messed up. Hey, hey, hey. Found a key. Hey, look, I found this. Ooh, what's this? Here we
Rest
go.
assured, young William, he's in good hands. What have you learned?
This.
This.
I was able to search the house at my leisure.
Oh,
It seems
timer.
that Dr. Owens has fled.
Unfortunately, that is not sufficient grounds for laying charges. We must turn his absence to our advantage. If we want real evidence of Dr. Owen's activities, the only place to find it is the bungalow.
I understand, Doctor. I'm on my way there.
I already tried to break into there, but the arrows wouldn't let me go around the house to the back, so I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, hey. Alright, so, anyways, that's all the time I got for now, so, we're gonna go ahead and end it here, and we will be back, and we will search that bungalow, and, see if we can't delve farther into the madness of the Cthulhu Mythos. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and, I will see you next time.